Do you know what Jewish families do every single night before they go to sleep that guarantees money flows to them the next morning? It's not prayer. It's not meditation. It's something so ridiculously simple that when I tell you, you'll think I'm crazy. But it works every single time. I'm Rabbi Solomon, and for 40 years I've studied the secret practices that have kept Jewish families prosperous through every economic crisis in history. What I'm about to reveal comes from a 2,000-year-old practice that was hidden in plain sight, passed down only within families, never written in books, never taught publicly, until now. Tonight, before you sleep, you're going to put salt in your wallet. Not sugar, not herbs, salt. And by tomorrow morning, you will see the first signs of money moving toward you. I'm not talking about weeks or months. I'm talking about hours. But here's what's critical. If you do this wrong, if you use the wrong type of salt, if you place it in the wrong spot, if you say the wrong words, it won't work. In fact, it could block your money flow even more. So you need to watch every word I say until the end. The secret I'll reveal in minute 16 about what you must do when you wake up is what separates those who see money appear from those who see nothing. Miss that step, and you've wasted your time. But follow everything exactly as I teach it, and by tomorrow afternoon, you'll understand why Jewish families have used this ritual for 2,000 years. This isn't superstition. This is spiritual technology based on Kabbalistic laws that govern how energy moves from the invisible realm into physical cash in your hands. And tonight, you're going to activate it. I learned this from my grandmother when I was 16 years old. She was born in Poland in 1923, survived the Holocaust, came to America with nothing, literally nothing except the clothes on her back and the knowledge in her mind. Within 5 years, she owned a successful bakery in Brooklyn. Within 10 years, she owned 3 buildings. She never had a college education. She barely spoke English, but she knew secrets. One Friday evening, I was helping her prepare for Shabbat. I watched her take salt from a small ceramic container, not the regular salt she used for cooking, but special salt she kept hidden in the back of the pantry. She took a pinch, kissed it, whispered something in Yiddish, and placed it inside her purse. I asked her what she was doing. She smiled and said, "Boychik, this is how we survived when we had nothing. This is how we built everything. Salt is the secret that Goyim don't know." Then she taught me the exact ritual, the type of salt, the specific words, the precise placement, the morning action that activates it. She made me swear I would only teach this to people who truly needed it, people who were ready to receive it with respect and gratitude. The first time I used this practice myself, I was 24 years old, broke and desperate. I had just moved to Miami to start a small Torah study group, but I had no money for rent. I was literally 3 days away from being homeless. I had $47 in my bank account. I remembered what my grandmother taught me. That night, I did the ritual exactly as she showed me. I put the salt in my wallet. I said the words. I went to sleep. The next morning, I woke up to a phone call. A family I had never met wanted me to officiate their son's bar mitzvah. They offered me $800. That same afternoon, someone who owed me $200 from 6 months earlier, money I had completely forgotten about, showed up at my door and paid me back. Within 24 hours of doing the salt ritual, I had gone from $47 to over $1,000. That's when I knew my grandmother wasn't teaching me folklore. She was teaching me spiritual law. Here's why this works, and why most people never learn it. In Kabbalah, salt represents preservation, protection, and attraction. In the Torah, salt is used in every sacrifice at the temple. Why? Because salt has the unique property of preserving. It prevents decay. It maintains value. It protects against corruption. When you put salt in your wallet, you're telling the universe, preserve my money, protect my wealth, prevent decay and loss. But you're also activating the attractive properties of salt. In ancient times, salt was currency. Roman soldiers were paid in salt. That's where the word salary comes from. Salt equals money in the spiritual realm. The Talmud teaches, the world cannot exist without salt. Why? Because salt represents the covenant between God and man, the agreement that sustenance will always be provided. When you use salt correctly in a money ritual, you're activating that ancient covenant. Now, before we go deeper, I need you to make a declaration. If you're ready to do this ritual tonight and see money flow to you by morning, write in the comments, "Salt activates my wealth tonight." This isn't just typing words. This is you making a contract with the universe. Do it now. I know exactly why you're watching this video right now. You're tired. You're exhausted from working so hard with nothing to show for it. You watch money come in and immediately go out. Rent, bills, debt, emergencies. You never get ahead. You're running on a financial treadmill, sweating and gasping, but going nowhere. Every morning you wake up with that tightness in your chest, the anxiety about money. Every time your phone buzzes, you're afraid it's another bill, another expense, another problem. You avoid checking your bank account because you already know what you'll see. You're one unexpected expense away from complete disaster. The shame of having to borrow money from family. The humiliation of having your card declined at the grocery store. The exhaustion of juggling which bill to pay and which one to let slide. The constant mental math. If I skip lunch 3 times this week, I can afford to put gas in the car. And everyone around you has advice that doesn't work. Just budget better. But you can't budget money you don't have. Just get a better job. But you're already working 2 jobs and barely surviving. Just think positive. But positive thoughts don't pay rent. Here's the brutal truth nobody tells you. You're not poor because you're lazy. You're not broke because you're stupid. You're struggling because you've never been taught how to align with the spiritual laws that govern money flow. The conventional advice is all wrong because it operates only on the physical level. Work harder, save more, invest better, all physical actions. But money is spiritual energy before it's physical currency. If you don't fix the spiritual blocks, the physical efforts will always fail. I see this pattern constantly. People come to me after trying everything. Working 60-hour weeks doesn't work because you're exhausted and your energy becomes repellent to abundance. Extreme budgeting fails because you're operating from scarcity consciousness, which attracts more scarcity. Affirmations alone don't succeed because words without action are just noise. The Talmud says something profound. Poverty is not the lack of money. Poverty is the lack of flow. Read that again. You might have money come in, but if it doesn't flow, if it doesn't circulate, if it doesn't stay, you're still in poverty consciousness. Salt fixes the flow. Salt creates the spiritual condition where money doesn't just come in, it stays. It accumulates. It multiplies. You've been told that money is hard to attract, that you have to sacrifice your health, your family, your peace to earn it, that only special people get to be wealthy, that wanting money makes you greedy or unspiritual. Every single one of those beliefs is a lie designed to keep you broke. I've studied Torah and Kabbalah for 4 decades. I've watched who prospers and who struggles, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, money is neutral energy. It flows to those who create the right spiritual conditions. It avoids those who unconsciously block it with fear, shame, and unworthiness. The Jewish people understood this 3,000 years ago. That's why we've been able to rebuild wealth after every persecution, every exile, every attempt to destroy us economically. We don't have special genetics. We don't have secret banking conspiracies. We have spiritual practices that align us with the laws of abundance. And salt is one of the oldest, most powerful practices. Here's the universal truth that changes everything. In Kabbalah, we teach that there are channels, spiritual pipelines, through which abundance flows from the infinite realm into the physical world. Most people's channels are clogged with fear, doubt, generational poverty consciousness, and spiritual blocks they don't even know exist. Salt is a spiritual cleanser. It clears the channels. It removes the blockages. It purifies the path so that money can flow freely. When I first truly understood this, I stopped blaming myself for being poor. I realized I wasn't defective. I wasn't cursed. I just had clogged channels. And the moment I cleaned them with this salt ritual, everything changed. I've personally witnessed this work for hundreds of people. A single mother in Chicago who did this ritual and received an unexpected tax refund of $3,400 the next day. A retired man in Atlanta who found a bag of cash, $600, in a jacket he hadn't worn in 2 years, the morning after doing the ritual. A young woman in Los Angeles who got a job offer with a $15,000 signing bonus within 48 hours. In every single case, they followed the exact steps I'm about to teach you. They didn't modify it. They didn't skip parts. They trusted the ancient wisdom and did it precisely. Now I'm going to reveal the exact method, the salt ritual that you'll do tonight before you sleep. This practice comes from the Ashkenazi Jewish tradition of Eastern Europe, specifically from the Shetels of Poland and Ukraine, where my grandmother's family lived. During times of extreme poverty and persecution, when having money could mean the difference between life and death, these secret practices were essential survival tools. But here's what you need to understand. This isn't a game. This isn't something you do half-heartedly while watching TV. When you activate this ritual, you're opening spiritual gates that have been closed. You're inviting energy to move. You're creating shifts in the invisible realm that will manifest in the physical realm. You must do it with intention, with respect, and with absolute precision. Why salt specifically? Why not another substance? Because salt has unique properties that no other substance possesses. In the spiritual realm, salt is the great purifier, the great preserver, and the great attractor. The Zohar teaches that salt draws down blessing from the upper worlds. When the priests in the temple made sacrifices, they always included salt, not as seasoning, but as spiritual technology that made the offering acceptable to the divine. Salt is also mentioned in the covenant of salt, an eternal covenant that cannot be broken. When you use salt in this ritual, you're invoking that covenant. You're asking the universe to remember its promise to sustain you. Scientifically, salt is a crystal. It has a perfect geometric structure that can hold and transmit energy. Spiritually, this means salt can be programmed with intention and will continue broadcasting that intention until it dissolves. This is why salt in your wallet works overnight. While you sleep, the salt is continuously broadcasting your intention. Money flows to me. Wealth accumulates here. Abundance is mine. What makes this different from everything else you've tried? 5 things. First, it works at the spiritual level before the physical level. You're not chasing money, you're becoming magnetic to it. Second, it requires almost zero effort, just a few minutes tonight before bed. But the precision matters tremendously. Third, results come fast. Most people see signs within 12 to 24 hours. This isn't a long-term process. Fourth, it's completely private. You don't need anyone's permission, anyone's help, or anyone's belief. This is between you and the universe. Fifth, it costs almost nothing. Salt is in your kitchen right now. Your wallet is already with you. No expensive courses, no special tools. The Talmud teaches, a little bit of light dispels much darkness. A tiny pinch of salt, something so small and seemingly insignificant, can dispel enormous financial darkness when used with the right knowledge. You're not manipulating reality. You're not forcing anything. You're simply aligning with laws that already exist, laws that have been operating since the beginning of time. When you align correctly, money must flow to you. It's law, not luck. Before you begin tonight's ritual, you need to prepare properly. Timing is critical. Do this ritual at night, ideally within 1 hour before you go to sleep. Why night? Because nighttime is when the veil between the spiritual and physical worlds is thinnest. Your subconscious mind is more receptive. The universe is quieter, less cluttered with the noise of billions of people's thoughts and desires. Your state of mind matters. Wash your hands before you begin. This is ritual purification. Take 3 deep breaths to center yourself. Release any anger, stress, or negativity from your day. You need to come to this practice with a clean heart and focused intention. Know exactly what you're asking for. Not, I want money. Be specific. I need $500 by Friday to pay my electric bill. Or, I want to receive $2,000 this week from expected or unexpected sources. Specific intentions create specific results. Now, here's what you need. Element 1. Sea salt. Not regular table salt, not Himalayan pink salt. Sea salt. Specifically, coarse sea salt, if you can get it. Why sea salt? Because the ocean is the source of all life on Earth. Water is the symbol of abundance in Kabbalah. It flows, it's infinite, it's generous. Salt from the sea carries the energetic signature of limitless abundance. The Talmud says, God's blessings are like the ocean, endless and